realize what you've said?
I should do. It's pounded in my brain often enough, asleep and awake, in the drowsy fantasy moment of every lonely dawn. Oh, come on. What's your answer?
You've taken my breath away.
What's your answer?
If I tell my mom and she tells your mom, would you sign up? If I tell my mom and she tells your mom, make me un poco el focus to copy. Focus to copy. Find. If I tell my mom and she tells your mom, would you sign up? If I tell my mom and she tells your mom,
Say he's lived until he's loved.
Well, go out and love someone.
I do her.
Have you told her?
No, you know me. I'm too shy. Here, I could cable her.
Oh, why not semaphore? Arthur, you've got to declare yourself openly. Otherwise, you'll stay right where you are.
Gosh.
Simple man. I have plain, simple feelings, and I use plain, simple words. And I simply have to let you know, plainly, that I plainly and pimply want. Oh.
Rather nice, then you have him. Oh no, really, I think you ought to give him a chance. He seems kind of helpless.
Helplessness is the last thing I am looking for.
And Sammy. Sammy.
Look, please, if we're going to spend the rest of our lives together, you must learn not to interrupt.
The rest of our lives?
Yes.
You mean marriage?
Of course.
You've got a nerve.
Got several of them. They're all functioning normally.
Do you realize what you've said?
I should do. It's pounded in my brain often enough, asleep and awake, in the drowsy fantasy moment of every lonely dawn. Well, come on. What's your answer?
You've taken my breath away.
No, it's just the sudden realization, you see, of the fact that I love you.
Alright, good afternoon. This is Parker Ellenbrook here. As you see, it is currently 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be going through kind of an in-depth look at all the tropics around the globe, mainly the Eastern Pacific, the Atlantic, and of course the West Pacific with Tropical Storm Champi. You'll go in-depth there. Look up on your screen right here. This is the Tropical Storm Champi. Forgot to edit the name. Let's see. Parksat is one with winds at 50 miles an hour, so a bit more on the upper echelon of the scale. A lot of the higher estimates of the storm. You can see wind speed of wind speed of 50 miles an hour and a pressure of 999 millibars, which is kind of around that kind of rough. It's a bit low, but kind of not in a good range. But you can see again, Champi looking pretty decent. Just was classified as a tropical depression yesterday by the JTWC and the JMA. So you see here, that is actually getting moved due north. We'll look at the models for this in a second. Well, actually, right now, pull them up right here. This is actually first the JTWC. If I pull it up, a warning graphic, as you can see, they really have it staying out the sea, not really affecting me Japanese islands. And it may, as you can see up here, as it begins to accelerate off to the northeast, it could potentially affect some gusty winds to the outer coastal parts of Tokyo and Japan. But mainly, they do have it hitting a 65 knot tropical cyclone or typhoon. So that would be interesting. But they have it slowly intensifying. They have it at roughly. They have it at. What is it? They have it at 40 knots right now. They have it again at 40 knots at 12Z, and then at 0Z 45 knots, and they'll have it steadily intensifying. Maybe getting close to those outer Japanese islands. But other than that, that is the only kind of land effect potentially near this is going to be maybe the outer coastal parts of Tokyo and Japan right there. So that's really the only place that could be affected by the storm right now. Now going to the GFS that it has for the system, you can see as we go forward, it has a deepening to around maybe potentially Category 2, high in Category 2, as you can see as it gets down to 968 there, 972, as you see. Again, potentially bring some heavy rain, maybe potentially gusty winds just to the coast of Japan right there. Other than that, not much is expected from the storm. Just on your typical early EPAC systems. So you see, moves off and then gets thrown into the Bering Strait. We can continue to look off just for the Western Pacific. Again, not much is forecasted. You can get a few of these low pressure systems here and there. Again, this is very far out, so I wouldn't quite believe what the GFS says right now in terms of what's going on. That is that. So we pull up imagery for the Eastern Pacific. We'll go over here. We'll change this real quick. I'm not very prepared for the stream right now. We'll go over to the Eastern Pacific. We'll pull up the National Hurricane Center. You'll see here NHC. Pull it up. Here we go. And we'll go to the Western Pacific. You can see right here we do have a 6% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. At high 90% in 5 days and high for 70%. You can see right here this big area of convection will pull up here. So we get ready. And this is the storm that the models have been honing in on for over the past few days, as it started off early this week around Sunday. It was when it really kind of came off the Mexican coast. That's when it really started picking up steam, and we'll pick it up here on you can see here on the red visible imagery you're seeing in a second of this system, as it gets more organized, gets starting to more that define a little circulation. You can see right there. Let's actually add more frames to this as it loads. But you can see here, pull up the exchange there. Very kind of disorganized. Not much convection with it right now. Overall, you can see that it is starting to get that circulation to it right here, as it begins to pull off to the north, or I guess it can stay staying east, because it kind of gets that more of a northwest motion right now. That's what we're looking at right here with the thing that's Invest 90 something E. Yeah. So that's again disturbance 1. Only one that's in the Eastern Pacific right now, as you can see. It did have more convection earlier, but a lot of that convection has kind of died and again remained to the south of the potential circulation. You can see it's really starting to get a spin to it. Maybe some potential banding up here to the top of it right here. You can see the potential banding right here as it arches forward. And you can see just some cells flying over Mexico right now, but that's what we're looking here right now. Then over the Atlantic, we had 2 new areas of interest come out in 5 days. You can see a potential waves coming off. Strong tropical wave expected to emerge off the coast of Africa over the next day or so. Some gradual development of this system is possible early next week, but moving generally westward of the far western Atlantic. You have this other disturbance right now just coming up on the main islands in the Caribbean. You can see right here, a recent visual satellite image indicates a weak area of low pressure has formed along a tropical wave. Located a few hundred miles east of the Windward Islands, however, showered up of vegetable activity associated with this low is limited. Increased upper level winds are likely to prevent further development of the system as it moves northwestward at 5 to 10 miles an hour. So that likely won't develop, but this one we have to watch out for, as it could kind of get into a decent environment to watch out for. So as you can see, we'll pull up to the GFS monolith. We'll pull up to the Eastern Pacific just to get that creating that 7090 cell that's over there. I can find it here, the Eastern Pacific. So here, that's not really shown right now, but you can see eventually. Oh, the parentheses right first. Hold on, go back to our 6. You can see that storm forming right there. You can see it kind of gets it kind of becoming a decent, potentially low in Cat 2, maybe medium to high in Cat 2 right there. As you can see, this is your typical Eastern Pacific storms. And not much really happens. It just kind of forms and then stalls out before it even gets anywhere near really the Baja California Peninsula Sur. So right now, this is what it looks like. You just get that major hurricane that comes out of it. You can see, again, it does kind of tend to almost rapidly intensify, but intensifies pretty fastly. But other than that, nothing much happens to it. It doesn't really affect much land. You could see some heavy rainfall, not gusty winds along the coast of Mexico, the coast of western Mexico. But other than that, you're not going to see much in terms of a landfall or like a direct, hurricane force winds. But you could see some gusty winds, but potentially heavy rainfall from the system. And as we head towards the Atlantic right now, if I can get out here, it is the North Atlantic. Again, this is all thanks to Tropical Tidbits. You can see, shout out to Levi Cowan for his website and everything that he does for it. Thanks to him. As you can see, the North Atlantic, you have that main system right here off to the south right here. You can see it. Again, very small, but it is there. Something to watch out for. As you see, as we get to pull forward, you get some of these extra tropical lows that'll come up here. Some people can kind of mistake them for subtropical storms, but again, they don't typically happen. You can see the wave as it comes off of Africa. Again, it kind of stays relatively weak right now. You can see also that the tropical storm that goes over. We were just talking about it a few minutes ago. That will become a hurricane, or potentially could become a hurricane. As you can see, this tropical low as it can already come off of Africa. You can see this a different low forms and could kind of meander on the Gulf as a different low potential storm. So you can see our tropical low, we're following it. It's just right here, right now. We're watching it, as you can see right here. As again, it tends to pull forward. Again, not much is expected of it right now, but something to watch out for, as it could become into a decent environment right now. You can see again that GFS picks up on the possibility of a storm that comes off again of the Bay of Campeche kind of forms, just kind of like we had like the last one did when it was Claudette. Saying it's a very relatively weak, not even a full on it will be a cyclone, but not even a full on like convection around it. It could be one of those storms that looks ugly, as you can get for this time of year, especially in the Gulf of Mexico. Those ugly kind of storms. It meanders. It could potentially looks like it may make landfall or stall over the kind of around the Texas, Louisiana coastline right there, which would not be good. Those areas have seen enough of tropical activity this year. Probably want to break from this year and last year. Again, that's the possibility that could happen there, but that's very far out as well. Which we're looking at right now, you can get this low that comes off, maybe become something brief. You see as it kind of comes off there. Not much, again, in terms of the Atlantic, again, it's kind of, I wouldn't say quiet, but again, you're just kind of getting that time where it's transitioning from your potential for the early spring storms and then into the main hurricane season when it comes into July time right now. But, as you can see, kind of sparse right now. I'll pull up. As you can see, again, we're looking at the storm. This is Eastern Pacific Invest. As you pull up imagery for the Atlantic. Right now, you can see pretty sparse in terms of any like big tropical convection you can typically see. And get these few, like, especially got that lowest right here, this 10% area off to the south right here. I'll outline it out right here. Maybe. Yeah. There it is. Okay. Can outline it right here. That 10% area right there. And you can kind of see this. It's way off to the back of your geek, but you can almost see it's like way back in here. But you can see that Empath it's back in here if it loads. But again, the sun is coming down over this area, so it's kind of hard to see. But you can kind of see it. Not this line of convection right here, but you can kind of see it off here to the north. Last release was what's going to come out at. But yeah, this is the current update that we have right now for the tropics and everything. As you can see, 2 investing in the Atlantic, 1 in the Eastern Pacific that is about ready to form. As you can see, part of the Mexican coastline is in this, so the storm could potentially move in there, close to there. And this was like that. So we're going to leave off with this image or a solid loop of the 10% area in the Atlantic. And yeah, thank you guys for stopping by, and hopefully I'll do more updates for these systems in the long run.